Last week we explored the fascinating science of muscle memory, but today I'm going to show you how to optimize your return to training by leveraging these principles we discussed in last week's video. Whether you're coming back from an injury, a vacation, or just a break, this is your blueprint for rapid strength and muscle regrowth. If we haven't met before, what's up? I'm Lockie, a final year sport and exercise science student at Oxford Brookes University with over 3 years of applied science resistance training. So in our last video, we discovered that muscle nuclear retention provides a long-lasting advantage even after a break. So today we're putting that knowledge into action with a strategic return to training protocol. So let's get into it. So in this video, you'll learn the optimal loading strategy for your first weeks back, how to monitor and progress your training volume, key exercises that maximize muscle memory activation, and recovery guidelines to prevent injury whilst fast-tracking gains. Right, so let's work out how to do an initial assessment to gather what weights you should be doing on your return to the gym. So before diving straight back in, we need to assess your current lifting capacity. So what is the weight you can actually work at? So start by testing your strength at 50 to 60% of your previous working weights, because this cautious reintroduction helps reduce the risk of injury by preventing overloading. As always, focus on perfect form and reactivating neural pathways, which can become detrained over time. And then you should document your baseline to help track your progress over time. Because one of the worst things that can happen is that you're back in your first session of training and then you put way too much weight on, you hurt yourself, you overstretch your tendons, you damage your ligaments, and you just feel awful after your first session back. So you need to use a cautious reintroduction and not excessively go heavy with the weight you're using. Future you will thank yourself for not going too hard in your first session back. So now let's look into a strategy you should implement for progressively overloading when you come back to the gym from a break. So according to research on myonuclear retention, muscle nuclei can retain in the muscle for up to 12 months, allowing quicker regrowth in hypertrophy upon retraining. So here's how you can use a progressive loading approach to reactivate muscle growth. So week 1, start at 60% of previous working weights with 3 sets per exercise and prioritize the mind-to-muscle connection to re-establish neuromuscular control. So then in week 2, increase your weight to 70 to 75% of your previous working weight if form and recovery are solid. And you can also add an additional set to each exercise if fatigue levels remain manageable. And then finally, for week 3 and onwards, you want to push towards 80 to 85% of your pre-break weights and normalize your set ranges. At this stage, you can start to incorporate intensity techniques very carefully, assuming your form stays to a high standard. Right, so what sort of exercise selection strategy should you adopt? Maximizing muscle memory can be achieved using compound lifts, which help to activate more muscle fibers and increase neuromuscular activation. I think 4 very important compounds you should be using upon retraining is squat, bench, deadlift, and barbell rows. So a great example we can use is the barbell row. So start with controlled eccentrics, which is the lowering portion of the movement. This enhances muscle fiber recruitment and helps to reinforce your form, but also use a full range of motion to target more muscle fibers. Make sure you gradually increase time under tension to re-stimulate muscle growth. And this is how you can utilize proper form to re-engage your muscles and help to reactivate hypertrophy. And let's look at the final section, which is recovery optimization. So how can you optimize your recovery upon returning to the gym? So you got to remember, your muscles remember how to grow thanks to retained nuclei you gained during your training before your break. So you have to stimulate them gradually and not massively overload them. So you have to trust in this method and let your muscles do the work. So as much as it might be extremely tempting to come back in the gym and prove to yourself or even other people that you can lift the weights you used to, you're probably going to injure yourself. So when you come back, adopt a smart, gradual, progressive overload strategy, A, so you don't injure yourself, and B, so you can slowly work up to the weights you used to. Right, so let's recap what we've actually covered in this video and what you should be taking away after watching this. So start at 60% of your previous working weight and progress incrementally. You should focus on compound movements with good form, prioritize quality over quantity to prevent injury, monitor recovery carefully between sessions, and leverage your muscle memory for a smooth, efficient return to training. So if you've had a big break before and you've struggled coming back into training, let me know what methods you adopted and if they worked or not. Right, as always, if you took something valuable from this video, make sure you smash the thumbs up and hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell icon so you get notified every time I post a video. Anyway, that's all from me. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.